When all that happened, after they got to the hospital and everything like that, the superintendent, he called me on my cell phone, and he said, Paul, he said, where are you at? He said, I need to get your wife to the hospital. There's something bad wrong with her. And just through my mind, I thought, well, maybe she's just sick or something like that. And I didn't think it would be that hard. And after I got up there and they gave her all this stuff, and the doctors was talking to me at Russell County Hospital and saying, well, we think she's had a stroke, and they gave her the clot buster and everything like that. And my mind is just running 100,000 miles an hour, and I thought, I don't know what the unknown's what scares everybody. Mm-hmm. And then they said, well, we're going to have to take her to UK. We're going to fly her out. But that morning it was real foggy and they couldn't fly her. They said they couldn't land the helicopter. And one of the things that hurt me the worst during all this is my wife being sick, but as just putting her in the ambulance. She was sitting there, you could hear her scream for a long way, saying, Paul, you take care of them kids. Mm-hmm. I don't care what it takes, you take care of them. And I always let them know Mama loves them. And they took her out, and I went home and got a lot of stuff, and anybody that knows my wife knows she's got to have a blanket. And I thought, if that makes her happy, I'm going to go get that blanket and get me some stuff, because I knew we was going to be here for a while.
I didn't realize till the next day what had happened. I know they had told my husband, I think when I was in the ER at Russell County Hospital, they had already told him, but I don't recall ever being told. All I could picture was the boys in my head. That was the only thing I could see. And it was just making sure I got there to, that I stayed alive and that I was there for them.
As it happened, so a member from my team actually had seen her in the emergency room. She had come up to our floor, and it was at that point that I had looked at the CAT scan myself and literally ran down to her room to examine her. And as they can tell you, that things started happening very, very quickly from there. The nurse manager and I wheeled her over from MRI to intervention ourselves, and got the team rolling to get her on the table and catheters up. And Dr. Al-Hajri, who I don't know if you've had a chance to meet, he's our interventionalist. He worked very quickly, and the clot had actually progressed from the time we did the CT angio to the time she was on the table. It was actually worse, so she was deteriorating very quickly, but he had the blood vessel open in 15 minutes. So actually, the way the blood vessels work, there's 4 major blood vessels that supply the brain: the 2 carotid arteries in the front, 2 vertebral arteries in the back. The vertebral arteries actually join together at the base of the brain to form one. That's the basilar artery, and then there's some branches that come off of that. And so actually, the clot was at the top of the basilar artery. So these are the vertebral arteries that come up. This is the basilar artery, and you can see it just stops here. We should have some other branches coming off the top. So this is the before. So there was clot filling the artery here. This is the after shot. So now you can see many more branches coming off the top. So this was after the clot had been removed. There's a very high risk of dying with that type of a clot, greater than 85% chance of death.
Wow.
Yeah. And for people who do survive it, they're usually left pretty devastated. They may be paralyzed either on one side of the body or sometimes in all 4 limbs. They may have problems with swallowing, speaking, may end up on a ventilator for life. So it's very, very, very frightening.
I don't know. Words can't describe how it feels. I mean, I don't know, the reaction of them accepting me whenever I come in. I don't remember the fast pace or I don't remember anything. So just knowing the hard work they put in to save my life so I could go back home to my boys, they're my miracles, because they saved my life so I could be a mother and a wife again.